You'll learn how to turn your home into a fortress with the Door Sentinel. 16 kicks later, and the Door Sentinel is still holding strong. MySafeDoor.com. That's MySafeDoor.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
What do you do when your propane runs out and you don't have a large amount of wood for cooking? That's when you need a Grover rocket stove from StockStorage.com. The Grover rocket stove starts easily with any combustible material like junk mail, small twigs, leaves, weeds, or dry sagebrush. Then just add a small amount of kindling wood and you'll be cooking entire meals in minutes. Grover rocket stoves are made right here in the USA and are built to last a lifetime using heavy-duty thick-gauge steel and are painted with high-temp paint to withstand heat. Go to StockStorage.com and see 3 great Grover rocket stoves, stainless steel, heavy duty, or our original Grover rocket stove for only $135 and get free shipping to the lower 48. For phone orders, call 801-361-6984 or go to StockStorage.com. That's 801-361-6984 or StockStorage.com. The original Grover rocket stove minimal wood use cooking stoves, available exclusively from StockStorage.com.
Numbers I've seen is most of these reactors are 35 years old. They were supposed to only run 25 to 30 years. And the radiation starts eating them. The heat eats them. They're just falling apart everywhere. And their answer is store the rods there. Oh, you're allowed to off-gas. Radiation's now safe. Just like DU in 1990. They'd had it since the 50s. And there were Army reports. I've had the former head of the Army program, Dr. Doug Rocky on, physicist, who was the head of their DU program, and they just said, we can never use this. But magically they said, oh, it's safe to use now. And there's this magic wanding where they just say, you know what, isotopes are up all over the U.S., just raise the level of isotopes of what we say is safe. 25 times, 100 times, 200 times, some isotopes over 1,000 times. Radiation didn't go that high, but why not raise it 1 billion times? Why not say you could live in the center of the sun and wave a magic wand? So recapping the 3 stages with author and researcher Gar Smith, best-selling author of Nuclear Roulette, available at InfoWarsStore.com. Hope you get it and read it, because even if you know about it, there's a lot to learn here, and then give it to others. Gar, this is a short segment, long segment coming up. Recap the first 2 levels. You've got the first 2 levels, then you were getting into deception, and then go back into deception, how they handle it now when, a few months ago, oh, there's radiation up all over Europe, very dangerous. Oh, yeah, France had a leak, but we're not going to say anything about it. Please continue.
Yeah, the government has not been a very reliable source of information, and this is a general trend, too. One of my favorite quotes is from Dr. Natalia Mironova. She's a nuclear engineer from Russia, and she's one of the survivors of the Chernobyl cleanup crew. And her advice to Americans when she visited San Francisco a couple of years ago was, this is a quote, run as fast as you can. Don't believe the government. The government will lie to you. And you have to believe her because she wears the Chernobyl necklace. Those are the scars left behind from 2 surgeries to remove thyroid tumors. Over in Japan now, the government wants people to feel relieved that the radiation monitors are showing lowered levels of radiation. Somebody pointed out that the new systems that they've installed register radiation levels at 40% less than the previous monitors did.
But they admit that this all came out, they admitted they lied about the levels, and they had kids dropping dead from heart failure from the radiation. They just covered it up.
Yeah. It's part of the scenario. You get it in all of these situations in all of these countries. One of the problems that I have identified, I'm calling the regulatory industrial complex. You have these organizations that we are told are supposed to be providing oversight and protection for the public, but instead they are acting too often as enablers. You have individuals within NRC who, as inspectors in these plants, are finding some real problems and reporting them. But at the top level, you find the NRC is going out of its way to facilitate the operation of reactors that should have been closed down. And the Associated Press, they deserve the biggest reporting award in the world for a survey that they did. They took a look at 11,000 NRC documents to see what the situation looked like from inside a nuclear reactor. Now, ordinarily, you don't get to see the photographs that the NRC put in these reports. Rusted pipes, leaking water. This does not look like a sensible modern industrial plant. But the innards of these some places you can't even get inside the reactor components to see how they're performing. They're just so difficult to reach. But this is a summary that the AP came up with. Federal regulators have been working closely with the nuclear power industry to keep the nation's aging reactors operating within safety standards. How? By repeatedly weakening those standards or simply failing to enforce them. A little more detail, quote, when valves leaked, more leakage was allowed, up to 20 times the original limit. When rampant cracking caused radioactive leaks from steam generator tubing, an easier test was devised so that the plants could meet the standards. It goes on and on.
It's so frustrating, too, because I have 3 children, and I know, as Dr. Bob Bowman, who's a nuclear physicist, a former head of the Star Wars program, has said here, when things like Chernobyl or things like Fukushima happen, it just increases the cancer rate for the general public at large. But if you get a hot particle that was carried on dust or whatever, then you just get the lung cancer when you're 20. You know, people that get it today who are 5 years old, and they just say, oh, you got lung cancer. And so if you get it's like Russian roulette, as you call it, nuclear roulette with these hot particles. And the thing is, the nuclear industry is getting worse and worse. And then we have all these cases, as you know, in Southern California and other places where they've had total meltdowns before, like the salt reactor. And then no one even knows about that today, even though it's declassified. They keep it secret when they melt down. Let's talk about that when we come back.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Alex Jones here with a very important announcement for truth seekers. We've carried a lot of amazing films and books over the years on the online video bookstore at Infowars.com. And out of all the titles we've carried, one stands out because it is just so chillingly convincing. And that's Dreams from My Real Father by Joel Gilbert, available at Infowars.com. This film exposes the fraud that Obama is like nothing I've seen. If you want to know who Obama's real daddy is, this is the film for you. Don't forget, your purchase supports our broadcast and our growing media network. You'll also find at InfoWarsShop.com, None Dare Call a Conspiracy by Gary Allen, the book that woke me up. We're also carrying Behind the Green Mask, You in Agenda 21 by Rosa Corey. This book is coffin nails to the globalist takeover. The Greater Good, the most professional and up-to-date film I've ever seen exposing the scourge that is vaccines. These titles and a lot more are all available at InfoWarsShop.com.
The Silver Lungs Generator is the only all-encompassing professional-class product for producing endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions right from the convenience of your home. With recent regulations threatening the sale of silver-based supplements, now you can secure yourself and your family by producing your own silver solutions anywhere, anytime. You can have the peace of mind knowing that you can create endless supply of silver anytime, anywhere, for any application. The Silver Lungs Generator is a one-time purchase that requires no maintenance nor replacement parts for the life of the unit. This product was designed to be an invaluable part of your vital preparations. For a detailed report on the differences between ionic silver, colloidal silver, and what most silver solution manufacturers are producing, please visit our website at www.silverlungs.com for more information on why you should be producing your own silver solutions right from your home forever.
We have witnessed 2 terrible storms in the east, but we are still in the eye of the perfect storm. The most devastating economic condition since the Great Depression, America's worst drought in agricultural history, and now the economic results of the presidential election. This perfect storm is a huge threat to everyone's food supply. I just doubled down and got even more supplies from eFoods Direct, and I recommend you do the same. It's time to get your own supply from eFoods Direct. I know I won't be standing in a bread line trading my freedom for food. I'm taking control of my future, and you're nuts if you don't do the same. Go to efoodsdirect.com/Alex to find the specials. And you can start with a holiday gift pack that's normally $80, now under $50. Remember, I can warn you, but I can't feed you. Call 800-409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Would you rather prepare 6 months too early or 1 day too late? 409-5633 or efoodsdirect.com/Alex. Here's Dave Mustaine with Countdown to Extinction. Song about when you've got the last animal alive of a species, there are people that'll pay millions of dollars. Crank it up to walk up and shoot it right there in the cage.
Stage set now, pay the price. An ego boost, don't think twice.
And what we have is our own species, the technocrats. They are treating us like animals as well, and they have a nihilistic attitude of, oh, so what if this GMO sterilizes people? There are too many people. Oh, so what if these reactors blow up? You don't think we'd always be here, do you? And it's just also rich guys can live in bigger $100 million mansions that have more billions than the next guy showing off at cocktail parties. It literally gets down to that from some of the top stockbrokers and billionaires that I've talked to on record and off record. And again, I'm all for making money with an invention or a device, and I'm all for low taxes. It's the crony capitalist, the monopoly capitalist, who are so nihilistic. And the thing is, they sell their whole Agenda 21 takeover in the name of saving the earth, while all they do is say they want to tax carbon dioxide. Or in San Diego, arrest you if there's runoff from washing your car. Again, it's a tyranny, and the corporations are all exempt. And meanwhile, I've looked at it. I've talked to the experts. I've deeply investigated this. And we knew day one they weren't showing for 3 or 4 months any of the numbers out of the Fukushima area and out of that province. That's why it showed 3 times the radiation in Tokyo, a couple provinces, south of there, than they had there. And then now it came out. The head of Tokyo Electric apologized. Leaders apologized. Yeah, we covered up the numbers. Yeah, we didn't want to panic. Meanwhile, it turned out 3 months after Fukushima, tuna hit the West Coast. And the government tested the tuna. They knew it had very dangerous isotopes in it at high levels. And they said, you know what? We'll just raise the level. It's safe. Let them eat the tuna. And again, as corrupt as our government's been in the past, they didn't used to act like this from my research. I mean, this is crazy. You've got things much bigger than 3 Mile Island happening. What was it, in '59? They had a salt reactor blow up in Southern California. Radiated people, huge event. That wasn't known until the 90s. In fact, I'll pull up that article and show people. I'm ranting here, but Gar Smith is our guest. You were getting into, we went to break, the deception, the cover-ups, and where they're going. Am I wrong from my research and kind of a snapshot compared to your research and saying they're getting more reckless by the day, or is that just that I'm becoming more informed and they've always been reckless?
I think recklessness is built into the technology. There's no way on God's green earth that an engineering plan that would create a nuclear reactor could be considered logically sustainable. I was talking with Marv Fertel, who's a nuclear industry representative, and he made the statement that nuclear energy was essentially